Welcome back, or if this is your first time, I'm Kathleen, and welcome to my channel, Rose Prairie Farm. Today I have so much that I want to share that I believe I will not be able to get it all into one video. So I will do my best with what I can put in here. What I'll do is I will share a good portion of what I've been up to these past few weeks, and then I will make an additional video this coming week. Today is Sunday, August 2nd. Can you believe it? It's already August. Where has the summer gone? I do nothing. I stay home. When I do go out, which is just to go shopping mainly, I wear my mask. So I pretty much have a lot of time on my hands to work on various projects. So I would like to show you what I've been working on now. Behind me is a quilt that my stepmother started last summer. She passed away in February, and her goal was to make a quilt for each one of her granddaughters. She was able to complete 2 quilts. She completed this yellow, and then she completed a pink one. Very basic, simple pattern. It's just a 4-patch. Started out with 4.5-inch squares, finished out to be an 8-inch block. The sashing is done in a 2.5-inch strip. There is no border, just the sashing. The quilting was done by a local shop, and they did an all-over pattern. Turned out very pretty. She was very pleased. There's 5 granddaughters, so 2 completed, 1 top completed, which makes 2 left to do. I have another gray quilt top to make, and then a gray and pink one. That's one thing. Another project I was able to complete was a top that was started 9 years ago. My youngest daughter used to work at a cat clinic, and they could wear a scrub top made from various cat patterns if they wish. Had this one already cut out and ready to assemble when the doctor decided that she wasn't going to have the girls all dressed differently. She wanted them to all be in a uniform, same colored scrub outfit. So this got put to the side and totally forgotten about until just recently when I came across it. I finished it, and now it's my top. Another project I completed was this Crocheted Charlotte. Very simple. Went quickly. I would say I had it done in a couple of weeks. I did not continuously work on it, but periodically would pick it up and work on it. The pattern is a very simple pattern. It's a granny stitch pattern, hence the name Granny Charlotte. I used again some of my stash. I had a skein of fisherman's wool done in natural. Took one skein. I did add, as you could tell, I didn't do it like the pattern. I made it a solid color, but I did add a trim color, which was another stash that I had, a ball in my stash. It's a remix. And the colorway is, so I guess the color is 3922. Turned out very, very cute. It'll be perfect for around here when I go out and help my husband tend to the cattle in the wintertime, or if I need to go out and have just something very casual that I'm not worried about being too fancy and worried about it getting dirty. I should be able to clean this up very nicely. Another done. Okay, now it's confession time. I had started filming this, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The beginning of the week. And I am still learning so much about this shooting footage and editing that I did not realize. And I use my iPhone to do the footage, the videos. And I did not realize that if I take footage vertically and I use iMovie to edit, I haven't figured out a way to make the vertical picture fit the frame without having black on each side. And I fussed and fussed with it for most of the day and just gave up and decided I needed to just reshoot what I had done. So that's where this is at now, because when I shot it the beginning of the week, I was still working on a Helen Stewart shawl, her Pebble Beach shawl. And I'll slip the footage in because I think I might as well. I made it. I might as well show you. This whip that I'm working on, I'm real close to being completed. I just can't stop. That's why my poor socks have not really seen any work done on them. It is the Pebble Beach Charlotte by Helen Stewart. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. I ended up using out of my stash some yarn that I received from the Loops monthly club they had, I would say probably 6 years ago. But the yarn I'm using is from Cutthroat Yarns. It's a gradient 100% cotton. It's knitting up beautifully. I did not have enough of this to make a top, which would have been really nice for the summer. And I looked online. Of course, being so old, it's not available anymore. In the kit that they sent out, there was also a lavender hand-dyed, but I don't believe I'll be needing it. I think I can get away with what I have. I'm getting very close. I'm down to this much, but I only have like 5 or 6 more rows to go. I really love this pattern. I think I'm going to make myself one. This is going to go to one of my daughters. I'm not a big pink person, but they are. But now I can actually show you the shawl now that I have finished it. I finished it last night, and I might as well just slip it in here and show you. So, I haven't blocked it yet. Now, it's not quite looking right in the video here. It's very pink. There's the bottom layer that the bottom of the shawl is actually not beige. It's a very light pink. Okay, this is better. If I get closer, it looks better. Looks more like the real color. My camera wants to go in and out of a kind of a beigey tone here. I love the pattern. It was so much fun to work on. I believe I will make another one. This is a whip that I'm going to complete this year. I started this project last summer, so in anticipating I would have it done in time for Halloween. But as you can tell, I was so close again to being finished. I have a little bit more to do embroidering on the eyes, and then there's a vine on both sides that I need to finish. And then these oblong shapes here, the leaves, those get appliqued on with wool. It's such a cute pattern. It's a Crabapple Heel pattern. I love their patterns. They're so cute. Now, instead of tracing on the design like they recommend in the pattern, I use a sticky type of fabric. I'm not sure. It's a stabilizer is what they call it, a water-soluble stabilizer that you can run through your printer. So that's what I do. I take it and I copy it on to this. And if you can tell, it took 4 sheets. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here to get it to go. This is pretty big. This is 19 by 13. I use a product called Sticky Fibery Solvy by Sulky. It's a, like they said, self-adhesive, fiber-like water-soluble stabilizer. The sheets are printer size, 8.5 by 12. It has a paper backing, and then once it's printed, you can just pull it off of the paper backing, and then this side is sticky, and you just apply it to your fabric. And once you start applying it to your fabric, if you don't like where it's at, you can easily just pull it up and replace it. This has been on here for over a year, so it's a little more attached than it would be the first time you lay it down. So it's very doable. You can work it around, move it make all of this line up because I had to match up the letters. So it was easy to do. And so much easier than trying to trace this all onto a piece of fabric. I use this quite often, especially when there's a lot of work to be copied on from a pattern. I'll use this. Now, if it's a very simple pattern where there's just a little bit to trace on, I'll just go ahead and use my markers. But this works very well. Then when I'm all done, I just put it in a bowl of cold water, and it dissolves. It takes a couple, you know, rinses, but it's beautiful. It works out just fine. There's also another product, this one, that's the same thing. And there's also another one called Transfer Ease, which I don't have at the moment, which I've used quite often. Whatever you have in your area. I think I'm not sure if I got this at Joann's or not. This one I got online. And Transfer Ease, the quilt shop locally, had it. Now, when I'm embroidering using this fabric, I don't need a hoop. It's not a stiff product, but it's not stiff, but it definitely gives it some stability, so you can work with it without a hoop. It keeps the tension just fine. You don't have to worry about puckering. If I use a hoop, it's a little too much. It's not hard to needle through, but I find in a hoop it's harder, so I easily just do it without the hoop. But this one will be done soon. Now I would like to share my plans for this next month, the goal I have. I'm working on Halloween quilts and 2 table runners. On the design wall, I have the table runner that I started last fall. Did not get it finished. With all the traveling and such with my parents, my sewing went to the side and did for quite a few months. But this is what I did get accomplished, and this is for one. I'm making 2, and then I have the partially made 4 pumpkin blocks there. The fabric I have picked out is here. This purple cat fabric. I love it. Another project is this quilt by Pattern Baskets. It's a PDF file and explains why the color is a little faded, because I printed it off myself. I'm going to be using All Hallows Eve fabric by Fig Tree and Company. I love the muted gray, orange, off-white, black. I think it'll be beautiful. It's a small quilt, a wall hanging or a throw, whichever you prefer. The measurements are 42 by 65. Now it called for 10-inch squares, and I could not locate 10-inch square packs of this fabric, so I ended up getting a charm pack and a jelly roll. And the way it's constructed, I'll be able to get away with doing that. So there's that one. The next one is a free pattern called Tape Measure by Marcus Fabrics. This This pattern was given to me by a local quilt shop. They do a bi-monthly group called Stash Busters, and this was their pattern for the new one coming up. And I thought this one would be so cute done in orange and black and white. So I got out my stash of black and white fabrics, and then also my stash of orange. I have a good collection, so I think I will do fine. The pattern looks very simple, very modern, but very simple. It's just a matter of cutting out a block, then cutting out or cutting the blocks, inserting a strip, doing it multiple times till you end up with the block. Just as simple. And there you go. Now, this one will work out to be, if you have 5 blocks across and 6 blocks down, it'll work out to be 40 by 48. That's a good throw, or even a wall quilt if you want to put it up on your wall. If you want to enlarge it, all you do is just increase the rows that you wish. So